My friends, welcome to another episode of the Nuclear Heatwave Wrestling Podcast, brought to you by Mafia Sports Report. I, as always, am Dr. Love, and of course, you know this guy right here, and this is Sauce Bronson, baby.
That's right. I'm the light-skinned man with the ashy hands, and I never know if I have a plan.
Again, that's patent pending again. We have many patents that are pending here at Nuclear Heatwave, so what can I say? But
yes, I'm wearing this old Lion shirt. It's got holes in it. So listen, if you notice how raggedy the shirt is, I'm just saying, mind your business.
Hey, no, again, because you know why? You know why, Sauce? Because tears corrode.
Yeah.
Tears corrode. That's what happens. So, and it looks like we already have a chat from. Oh, you already got it. I got it. From Papa Mafia. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank you. As always. Thank you very much.
Yeah, if y'all pop on the stream with a yeah, we'll give you a yeah back.
Yes, we will. But so again, as we continue on the roads to WrestleMania, as we talked about last week, we had some talking about our favorite men's memories and matches from WrestleMania. So this week we're going to delve into some of the women's. But I just want to go over a couple, things that just popped up in the wrestling world real quick. Today, actually, as of today, we did get the logo reveal for SummerSlam here in Detroit, Michigan. And I'm not gonna lie, and here it is right on the screen. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a fan of this logo. I think it's sharp. It really tells about the city of the Motor City. It's got again the Lions colors, and then it's got the nice pipes and everything. I think it looks awesome. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very happy with this, and I'm happy with the idea that SummerSlam is going to be getting unique logos now every year. Last year in Nashville, they got a really cool logo. Now we're getting a unique one this year. I'm all about it. I think at this point now, the Royal Rumble should do that starting next year. So, but I like it. What are your thoughts, Sauce?
Listen, I'm not mad at it. It's got it's the Motor City. As far as the looks, everything, looks, especially how it's all chromed out. Like I said, you got the three, what's that? It's the Mustang stripes. But of course, once again, the four field colors, I think they pretty much nailed it. It'd be cool going forward if they start doing, just for the big pay-per-views, if they just start doing like cities, God, tongue twisting words, city specific, okay? There we go. They just certain ones for cities. How about that?
There you go.
But it'd be cool, as far as if that's something they plan on doing, as far as going forward. Like, granted, they said, what was it? Because WrestleMania next year's Mania is supposed to be in Philly, so They already coming up with some type of Liberty Bell design, which I'm not mad at. So
Yeah, there was some preliminary ones for that, and I think that might look good. I think that might be a good one right there. But I do want to let you know, Sauce, it does seem that you are a little choppy right now. Like I'm not,
what about now?
a little stop animation. So I'm not sure.
I'm
Yeah.
looking, and I mean, Papa Mafia was telling me, make sure the green screen thing is off, and it's not on.
Oh, wait a minute. So now you're already better right now. So there you go. You're already better a little bit. So
How we doing? Am I good?
you're better. Yeah, you're better. So
Okay. All right.
well, hey, I
I
can
don't
hear
know what's
you.
going on.
As long as we can hear you, I think we're good.
Yeah.
He might look like a little puppet here. We'll see.
Okay. Yeah, I
But
don't know what's going on in my end because my end look fine. You look fine on my end.
all right, then that's it. I like it. So, but yeah, I'm a fan of the logo. I can't wait to see what's in store for maybe next year. Maybe they do something unique for Royal Rumble. Who knows? Maybe they or what I'm saying, they might even revamp old other logos for shows.
Yeah.
So with it's all different. But I will say the only thing I thought was funny when I saw this logo, and I know that the pipes, right? The S's are the cool like pipes you see on cars or on bike. But all I could think about was the Great Balls of Fire and the fire. Oh my god! Oh gosh, it was so bad. It was just so bad. And that's all no, get it out of your head. So,
Right.
but yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys. Thought it was cool since it just dropped today. So, and those tickets again, we'll be trying our hardest to get those next month. I'll tell you right now to get for SummerSlam.
So, quick question. I mean, since we talk about as far as Detroit, as far as logos, I feel like since it's WrestleMania season, should we take a look back at WrestleMania 23 logo?
Absolutely. It's kind of funny you mentioned that because over the past couple of weeks, while I'm working, I've been putting on the WrestleManias in the background, and today I just finished 23. So now, what's cool about this logo, besides pretty much everything, I really love this logo. It's slick. They again had the kind of chromed out look to it. Yeah, that's a good one right there.
Let's do this. Open image to new tab.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. They went with the chrome, obviously the blue coloring of it. Kind of again Ford Field. It was really sharp, and I remember because every time there's a WrestleMania, they always are pushing the next WrestleMania, and pretty much 9 times out of 10, that logo that they'll show it's just a preliminary one, so they didn't have this logo ready. If I remember correctly, the preliminary logo didn't even have a number. It went back to reverted to a Roman numeral, and then they changed it to what we see for 23.
Yeah,
I liked it. My big problem, though, and only because I just watched this again today, I hated the stupid tagline. Yes, great logo, right? But the problem was the tagline for this was all grown up. All grown up. Because I get it. It was 30 years since WrestleMania 3 at Pontiac Silverdome. I get it. There was a real big talk about that. But it's like, we're all grown up. I'm like, we're not Rugrats here. We're not Rugrats. We're all grown up. It was stupid. It was stupid. That was my only complaint, though. The logo itself was very nice. It was sleek. And this is where, WrestleMania logos, I still miss the numbers and the Roman numerals, but at least they still have unique logos every year. That's as long as they can have that, that's fine, and not be like the NFL now, because the NFL they for some reason got rid of that, which was annoying. But no, but that's yeah. Oh, it's nice seeing that again. Even though I get, and what's interesting too is even the color scheme from the 22 was similar. With 22, they went with like the white and the blue and like I believe I'm not sure silver, but mainly white and blue. And then even 21, Hollywood had a blue and like white color as their main color. They had a lot that had similar colors. To me, Ford Field, this would make more sense being at Ford Field since the Lions have the color. But
yeah.
I don't know. I just think, yeah, it was a little odd, but it does look like we do have a first chat here. Well, another chat. We do have, we got CBM. And I think WrestleMania 14 was a good logo. It uses the classic Mania font, but updated its presentation in the cube form. I agree with that for sure. It was the first time they really changed it up for that logo, and I was a fan. I thought it looked really cool. You know, yeah. See, it's almost iconic because you maybe remember how it kind of like went with like a turn and everything. I think it was, yeah, and that was a really cool idea to change it, but keep the classic font there. So very
Yeah,
cool.
it was cool. Like at this time, it's crazy. At this time, this is like late '90s. So this is when people was learning what Photoshop was and Windows Paint. So they was like, "Hey, this looks cool. Let's just do that." You know,
Could you imagine? Yeah,
yeah.
they're like, oh my god, I just did this. Let's
I
put it
just
on. Let's
realized.
do it. We're using it now.
I just realized something.
Yes.
Hold on.
Oh boy. Enhance.
I guess I never noticed this.
Enhance. I feel like we're on CSI now. Enhance.
Oh, this is funny to me. As far as when they did, they had on there X-rated.
I get it. I see what you did there. See what you did there.
I mean, this is what they did, not me.
No, I know. Well, you know what? Trust me, anything's better than WrestleMania 2000. Sauce's favorite show. One of his favorite shows.
Listen, it has some hidden gems in there.
It does have hidden gems, but everything had to be 2000 in the year 2000. So at least they didn't call it Y2K or something.
Oh yeah, they could have. I mean,
no.
Just look at that bad boy. Look at it. Look
I
at it.
I don't want to look at it.
Look at it.
No.
They go now make it bigger.
No, it's bigger now. Oh gosh. Okay. I see what we're doing here. So, but yeah, some of those logos are fun and whatever. But yeah, if you guys have any ideas like other logos you like, whatnot, we'll pop them up. We'll talk about it because it's always a fun thing to talk about some of the good, the excellent, the bad, and the lazy. There's always lazy too. Trust me. Like I thought 21 last time they were Hollywood. Very lazy. It's a very lazy logo, in my opinion.
Very lazy.
And again, yeah. Well, because they recycled the blue and white a lot. 21, 22, 23 made sense because it was the Lions, the Ford Field. You had chrome in there, but they used blue and white a lot.
Well, it was cool. So like 23 was cool because it was Lions colors at Ford Field, but I get what you're saying as far as the other ones because it seemed like from WrestleMania 20 to 25, they just did the same color scheme.
Yeah, 20 was cool because it was the 20th one. So they had the double X logo that kind of looked like the diamond. That was kind of cool. Then again, 21, 22, 23, 24. And then they went to the 25th anniversary, which always annoyed me, by the way, because it was not the 25th anniversary. It was WrestleMania 25, right? That's not the 25th anniversry of it.
So I do you one better, Doc. We'll do this.
Oh, look at that.
Instead of me having to keep skipping through.
Hey, it's all good. I like it though.
Let's see if I can. So yeah. I mean, so as far as because so WrestleMania, WrestleMania 20 was silver, kind of like a gray silver, and then like you said, 21, 22, 23, with the exception of 24 and then 25. But like 4 of them, it was almost kind of like it was redundant.
Hey, go back to even X7, 17 and X8, except for being extreme by putting X7 and X8, it was the same logo. It was the same exact logo. And then 19 just changed the colors. And then at that point, they're like, well, we're not going to keep the logo anymore. We're going to change it to have different ones. And that was fine. I was fine with that. And then you can see like some of the different ones on there. And they started adding different colors. Like they utilized where they were at, like with 26. I liked it. Like you completely changed colors because you were, it matched where you were at, and then everything else did the same thing. Then the New York, New Jersey one, which I loathe that show so much. I'm not a fan of that one.
Actually, I thought that was pretty cool because it was something different. Because for the longest, we just saw WrestleMania and then Roman numerals. Like this is what you saw. And
Yeah,
then at least with the New York and New Jersey, it was something way different.
yeah. I will say though, I know that when me and my brother watched 31, or I'm sorry, WrestleMania Play, because that was when the first time they got rid of the numbers. So we're like, it's WrestleMania Play? Because it's got a big play button where you can't really see the after, but it's like
At that point, it was like that. They was full network by the well. They started network with 30th, but by 31, it was pretty much full network.
yeah. So it just made me laugh though because it was like we're watching WrestleMania Play now, and 30 made sense though. You had Triple X logo. You weren't gonna not utilize that Triple X.
Yeah.
So just like they're not gonna not utilize XL for next year. So, but yeah, I like how they kind of updated them. Some were better, and then stuff go. And then of course the old logos and whatnot, which there was no reason to
just
change
show
them.
those.
Oh no, I like them. You know, some were lazier, like 13 to the like we're evil. It's evil, guys.
It just said lazier. Once again, I would say when it came to when it came to 11, no, I'm sorry, when it came to 12, 13, and 14, somebody in Connecticut learned what Photoshop was or Windows 3D Paint, and they just went crazy.
They did. They're like, I got flames here. Can we use flames?
And you know, Vince
can we use flames here? They're like, yeah, we can use flames.
Vince was like, God damn, let's use those flames.
Oh my gosh. And we got a chat here from CBM. I do miss the outdoor manias. Well, I mean, hey, they are nice. Don't get me wrong, they really are nice, but I'll tell you, like some of the wrestlers, they were getting burnt up there too. Remember like with Triple H when he was getting how bruised up and beat up he was because of how he was getting like burned, and then he was getting bruised. So like we were like, what the heck? Why does he look so bruised up? Taking a few just regular bumps in his match, but and then other wrestlers were getting beat up too like that.
Yeah, I mean, sizzling and well, especially the ropes themselves.
Yeah,
their son.
My only concern I have with outdoor WrestleManias is sometimes it feels like the crowd is not as hyped up for it, or not as loud because all the sound dissipates, right? You have open arena, open stadium, it's all leaving. So then it's not even if you're getting the big pops here, it might not sound like it on TV. And then you feel like, oh, well, they're not really cheering that much, but they really are. It's just a lot. It's a big place. It's a big stadium. So, but yeah, it's having that many people in there. And now I personally have never been to a WrestleMania. Now Sauce here, we've been to one, right? Or we've been to two.
What,
we went to 23.
And 23, that's it.
Wait, you said 20. I didn't hear the first one, Sauce. 23.
No. You said I went to 23, and I was like, yep, and I went to 23. That's it.
Oh, okay.
No, so there's another guy. Well, for those who watched the Black History Month episode, Rio, for a while, he was going to like everyone. Like, I think it was 27 when The Rock hosted.
Yes. Yep.
He from like a good 6 years. No, actually, I'll take it back. For a good 4 years, he was like he was going to he started going to every WrestleMania.
That's pretty.
He would drive.
That's cool. That's really cool. Also very expensive, but you know what? That's still awesome though.
He would drive. He would drive down there himself, drive to wherever he had to go, and he would be there for like a week. Do all the fan access stuff, and
That's really cool. That is really cool. And I do want WrestleMania to come back here, but I'll take SummerSlam. I'll take that. It's one of the big four, so I'm fine with that for now.
So what if WrestleMania was in Ohio or Chicago? Would you go?
Man, Ohio. I hate Ohio so much.
Yeah,
no, to be fair, yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I can put that bias aside. It's fine, but yeah, if it was close like that would be pretty cool.
I mean, we're talking even if it was in like Indianapolis, we're talking like what, a 3-4 hour drive. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not that bad. So yeah, I'd be down for that. Once that gets if that ever got announced. I'm curious though, because they haven't announced it. Well, after Philadelphia, so I'm curious what they're gonna do when they announce that. It'll be a few months before they make that announcement, but yeah. So WrestleMania, always one of my favorite things is just the logos and going through all the different ones like that. And it's pretty fun. But just wanted to share that with you, especially with our new logo for SummerSlam, and the other logos for WrestleMania. I will say, even though they had to work with it for the pandemic, they did a good job of doing the double pirate theme, but changing it enough,
Yeah.
where because they weren't gonna not use the equipment, the stuff like I would. I'd be like, we're doing it again, god damn it. We're using the
So
same
you realize what they did, right? So for the first WrestleMania, they used one sword, WWE, yada yada yada. So like you said, there was like, all this money we put into, the graphic design, advertising stuff, using this stuff, we got to use it again. So you notice in the second one, they used two swords. So it's basically was like part 2 at Tampa again. Two swords.
And they cut the logo banner in half and inverted it so it's symmetrical as opposed to how it. So it's basically again, someone there on the Photoshop like, okay, I got this. Hold on, got it. There you go.
I don't know. It is like I do like one thing I do notice. It's like if you compare this year's WrestleMania logo to WrestleMania 25. I mean, we got a big giant star. And granted, one was Hollywood, one is pretty much, I mean, they both pretty much, Well, I'm sorry, one was Hollywood, the other one was Dallas. So, I mean, Jerry's World. And I'm just looking like, y'all couldn't have. Because it's crazy because, like, if you would have flipped them, like, let's say if you use this year's logo for 25th, that would have actually it looks better. It sounds weird, but it would make more sense. See how it's it would have been in Jerry's World. You got a big blue star. WrestleMania. It looks like Cowboys colors. And then you could have did the Hollywood version, for this year. I mean, the Hollywood look.
Yeah.
So it's just I don't know, it's just something I just noticed.
I do like the gold though, only because the gold with the Hollywood film on it. You can't really see it here, but they look like the film reels on the gold for the Hollywood this year. But I get what you're saying. The stars, the attraction, that could have worked too. So, but yeah, and then like you said, you can already see from next year. They already got the green down for Philadelphia, right?
And sorry, real quick for D-Town guy, Mr. D-Town. I'll say, what's happening, Captain? Glad that you can stop by for a minute, watch two, local wrestling lads from Michigan, blabber on about pro wrestling for a minute. Appreciate it.
Always, man. Thank you. But you know what? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sauce.
I was going to say, dear Nick Khan, Vince McMahon, I want y'all to hear me and hear me loud and clear. Whatever y'all do, it's going to be in Philadelphia next year, which is one of the most cesspool cities of America. All I ask is that you do not let any Philadelphia fans in that arena. Just don't let Philadelphia fans within 5 miles of that place.
No.
Of that arena.
Yeah.
Yes, let the degenerates stay home. Just ban them. What they call it, if you live in the city of Philadelphia, you deserve a 5 mile. What's the thing that they don't want people to come near you?
Yeah, quarantine, like a PPO.
A restraining order.
Restraining order.
Yeah. I would like restraining orders to be given out to everybody who lives within 5 miles of the arena. That's all I'm saying. Because we don't need another. We already saw what happened with the last 2 Super Bowls.
And
don't
right
need
here,
that going on again.
D-Town guy got it right here for sure. Yep. ECW chants all day, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they'll hijack that crowd. They're going to hijack it. If they think there's a hint of something they don't like, it's going to be completely hijacked. So,
especially if Paul Heyman shows up, backing up Brock or backing up Roman or whoever. Oh yeah, they're gonna go crazy seeing him.
Oh my gosh. Oh boy, that's pretty fun. but yeah. So you know, now moving on, basically to kind of what we were talking about, what we were going to talk about. Excuse me. Is last week we kind of talked about WrestleMania matches throughout years and memorable matches for the men's championship, non-championship stuff like that. So I wanted to kind of go over matches for the women, and the majority of them will be more memorable for their championship matches. Some maybe not, but there just wasn't as many. And trust me, as I put on our thing when you see it on YouTube, I put the good, the bad, the cringe. I really wanted to put on there the good, the bad, the cringe, the funny, the excellent, and the weird. I kind of just wanted to put all, because that's basically what the whole gamut of the matches. And obviously over the past 5 years is probably the majority of the best matches. But I do have a few here and there that I personally are my top two. So basically, I guess I'll just start with mine, and then we can kind of go over them whatever we like. So again, just because I just rewatched it again today, and it's still one of my favorite matches because it has my favorite diva women's, superstar, whatever. What they like to be called now, knockout is it's got to be Trish Stratus versus Mickie James at WrestleMania 22. This match, first off, has Mickie James, one of the best. That was really when that women's wrestling, Jazz had been there, Victoria had been there, started getting this going. But it was good. It was such a good match. And why it was so good is because the storytelling, the months going up to WrestleMania, it was so good because she played such a great stalker, single white female type character, for Trish, and it just worked so well. And she worked well. She's a great wrestler, so she could work well with them. Trish Stratus was already much better. She had been, as a champ, as a wrestler. But what was interesting, especially rewatching this match, watching the promos and stuff, all the build up, is that the fans at that point turned on Trish Stratus. Now, mind you, Mickie James was the heel, total heel. In that match, they turned on her, Trish. They were booing Trish. They were cheering Mickie James. She had some good moves in there. Now, here's two things. Obviously, we'll just get the elephant out of the room here. Well, or I should say the camel out of the room, probably. No more like it. So obviously, the one big thing that happens is when she grabs her crotch, and then she does what everyone knows she did. Now, I watched that live. That was crazy to see. That was edited out of the network's viewing of it, but they not the grab. The grab is in there. And then it cuts to the crowd, and it cuts right back to her when she's like, her face is still like this, like they cut it, but very close to it. It's not like they cut the whole thing, and the crowd, you could hear it though. The crowd's like losing their mind. Match is going on, and there's some good moves in that match. There's some moves you don't see that often, like Trish running into they had good chemistry. They had really good chemistry, and a lot of the women's matches you see sometimes get bogged down, and they're just slow pacing, Irish whips to the corner or the ropes that seem slow because they're not in sync. But now there is one thing though, because I remember when watching this live, is the ending of the match got botched. It was like Mickie James went to go do her pickup bulldog kick off the rope bulldog move. Well, she went to go kick off the rope and she slipped off and it fell and it kind of hit the ground. It was a bad botch, but it was like she slipped off. They kind of readjusted, and then she did a chick kick and knocked out Trish Stratus and won. Kind of funny, watching on the network, the entire botch is not even in there. They cut the entire botch out of the end of that match. So I did what I like with my physical media. I popped in my WrestleMania 22 DVD that I own, and the botch is in there. So it's just interesting that they would cut that out. I mean, I know it was a botch, but still, it's like part of the match. But they absolutely cut that out of the whole match. And so it just goes to her doing a chick kick and winning the match out of nowhere. But without that, it's still, to me, it holds up very well. And probably before, it's like the last 5 years, 4 years with some of these matches happening, it's my favorite. It's my for sure, especially during that era. It's my favorite because there's other ones too, but I just like I said, Mickie James. She's my girl. She's my girl. So,
oh yeah, I agree. As far as with that match, I remember like going in, you saw Mickie James, the stalker or whatnot, and being a big Trish fan, I'm looking at it like, hey, listen, Trish Stratus kicks her behind. Hurry up and just get this W. And then, as you said, as the match was going on, you just really got to see Mickie James like, hold up, wait a minute. Say hold on, like this girl can actually, this girl can wrestle. Like you said, the chemistry was, the chemistry was so was on point or whatnot. And then like you said, by the end of the match, it was just like, you know what, I mess with Mickie James. And, yeah. And they oh, go ahead.
No, that was it. No, you can go ahead.
But as far as because mind you, 22 was a pretty good as far as WrestleMania. As far as everything that was going on, and mind you, Trish has been in a lot of these manias, as far as title matches. And that was just another, cherry on top as far as that pay-per-view itself. But yeah, definitely solid match. Definitely, was a big fan.
Yeah. I just, and again, because I've been rewatching these shows and just seeing it again, and it was crazy though. That crowd just turned, and it was such a unique turn. It was very organic, It was a very organic turn for her, and it worked. And like her whole reign was great. At that point, people were getting like stale on Trish Stratus. They were just, they were getting kind of stale on her. But yeah,
they wanted something new because, like, we can only see Trish versus Lita so many times.
Yeah, that's that's true right there too. So
don't get me wrong, them two, set the stage for what's to come, later down in life. But granted, you got your Jazzes, you had your Victorias in there as well, and whatnot. But yeah, it was just it got to a certain point. It was like, okay, Trish, okay, Lita, like we enjoyed y'all, but listen, we need somebody else.
Yeah, yep. So what do you got for a match that kind of hit you that you really
Charlotte Flair
that was
Rhea
memorable
Ripley,
for you?
Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley, WrestleMania 36.
Yep, night two opening match of the show. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep, this was, as I call it, Rona Mania.
Rona Mania, yeah, it really was.
And these two women, and first of all, it was shocking that Charlotte Flair, she wins the Rumble, and she challenges for the NXT title. We like, wait, what?
That was crazy, right? We were very surprised. I remember we were like, what? What just happened just now?
And Ripley comes out with the Vegeta uniform on. I was like, let's freaking go. Let's freaking go.
Yeah.
And she comes out there. She, like I said, these two women, they definitely tore the house down. Especially, consider how hard that had to be as far as like psychology wise. Because once again, you wrestling with nobody there. Really.
Nobody.
Nope.
Yeah.
So, you basically got to make your own it's like you got to basically make your own energy as far as like when to change the sides of the match or whatnot. And granted, what those performers had to do, basically what those performers had to deal with under those circumstances. Listen, my hat is off to everybody in the pay-per-view who worked those two nights, but especially those two ladies. They definitely tore the house down.
They did. It was a great opening match too for that night too, and knowing they had the split of the two nights for it. Yeah, it was really cool. I remember watching it and again being very surprised about Rhea Ripley losing, but at that time they were really pushing the NXT brand, right? Like where anybody could be champion from anywhere, and I thought, and again, doing it that way was smart, I guess. But we all kind of thought, well, Rhea Ripley's going to be pushed down the ladder, and we little did we think, little did we know, that they were very high on her, and she just kept going up, up, and now we get the rematch on the grandest stage of them all, which is now rumored to be the main event of night one of WrestleMania, which it should be. I'll tell you right now, I would be fine for that if that was the main event for night one. So, and because people are already super high on for Rhea Ripley and Charlotte. Say what we want, but she is Miss WrestleMania. And she really is. But yeah, I'm excited to see that. And that match, at 36, it was a great match. It was a great match. It was a good pick.
Granted, those two women fought their butts off. It was kind of, it kind of sucked to see, Ripley get paid clean as far as for Charlotte to win that strap. But at the end of the day, you couldn't be mad at the match because, what they did that night, they did the damn thing. And I'd say, the true winners is people who, at home who watched.
Yeah, I like that. Oh man, see, that's good. And I like these. I like talking about these memorable matches. Now, when I say memorable, though, they're not always good. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to bring up a bad match, or because you know what? I'll just segue since I just brought up the fact that Charlotte is technically Miss WrestleMania. Technically, she's not Miss WrestleMania because Miss Wrestlemania. I can't even say this. The Miss WrestleMania Battle Royal happens. Yeah, where Santita wins the Battle Royal. Oh my gosh! I mean, this was just an excuse to get all these women that were never going to wrestle and on the show. And this happens for the men. This happens with women when they've battle royals or whatever. But still, why did they have to have Santita? Like Santito, great comedy character. One of the best, honestly. He evolved and it's so funny. Yeah, I didn't like this. At all. I can't even remember what WrestleMania it was from. 25 maybe. I don't even remember. Do you remember, Sauce, off the top of your head, which one that was?
Well, Google can.
Okay, well, while he's looking that up, because it doesn't even matter, but it was just like they're gonna have like Santino win this, dressed as his sister or whatever. It was just like really, come on. So it just has to go on this cringe, very ugly side of it. But of the women's matches, you had plenty of other women on the card in that match that could have won. And yeah. So I still so now apparently with the Miss WrestleMania thing, because that's what Charlotte's going by, I think they're gonna retcon that out of here. But I wouldn't now if they actually did a battle royal with the women now.
It was at Mania 25.
That's what I think. That's what I thought. Yeah. In my head, it was just kind of like earwig. And I was like, was that 25? But
yeah, because this is Papa Mafia's channel and living in the world we live in. Yeah, I'm not going to really share too many thoughts as far as that moment. Because how things work. But what I'll say is, I personally thought it was funny when it happened, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Like I said, I wish that we could have had maybe like you could do that match now and then utilize and then have someone win. You know what I'm saying? Like I have a battle royal or something. But again, those have been scrapped now. Like they don't even do the women's battle royal anymore. And the men's one, unless they're going to do it this upcoming week, that might not even happen either. So who knows? But so what do you got, Sauce, for a match that maybe not so memorable for a good way, but maybe for other reasons, bad or good, or anything like that throughout WrestleMania.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Most of these matches I put on here is good matches.
You can say a good match too, though. So yeah, give us a good match then.
So,
man.
Actually, well, if we want to talk about not so memorable match, we could talk what a botched booking of Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss.
Yep, that's a great one actually. That's a good one right there.
So, Nia was doing it. She was doing her face. She was doing her FaceTime, and the problem was, the way I looked at it, you basically had your female Braun Strowman, and but unfortunately, so the match was decent itself. I'm not going to say it was terrible. Not going to, won't say that. But and by the way, it was WrestleMania 34.
Okay.
But it was just the booking up to it. It was just they kind of like they was kind of going off of the I'm a big girl. I don't like being teased and now they was kind of making her a baby face, but they were kind of killing her monster image. When me personally, I just wanted her to just like tear and walk, like the booking up to it when they had her in the the makeup room, and then Nia just sits there and starts crying, and oh my god, and just walk around.
That was very weird. It was such a weird like why are you making her? Why are you like weakening her so much?
And it goes back to when they did the same stupid thing to what was it to Awesome Kong when the time brief moment she was there, and I'm looking and. Like you said, what they should. Me personally, the match was pretty decent for what it was. What I would have done, the way I would have rebooked it, I would have made it a squash match. Nia would have came in, maybe a minute later, 1, 2, 3. Nia Jackson's your champion, and now you got your big, now you got your female monster, that can basically run roughshot all over the women's division.
Yep.
You would have had your female Strowman, and
and that's actually a very good way to put it. I would have definitely had her get squashed because look, if they're going to sit there and be like, well, we can't. Why would we do that? Because it's WrestleMania. I'm like, no. You had squash matches all the time. Sheamus, Kane,
Bryan.
Yeah, like there's squash matches. So there's precedent for it. And a squash match is not
Kane and Chavo Guerrero.
Yep. And it's like there's precedent for that to happen. So and it would have worked in this case, but you're right. They really just devalued her as a monster, and that's annoying. She's got the size and the brute strength in a sense. So yeah, utilize that. There's not many other female wrestlers that could be as strong as her or as menacing. You got Alexa Bliss that's 5'5" Alexa Bliss versus her. Yeah. You're like, okay. Mm.
And the crazy part was even when she was first brought up to the main roster, Nia Jackson, she still had a lot of botches here and botches there, but at that time, because she was, fresh up to the main roster and people were kind of getting behind her because they was like believing in the chase for the belt. It was fine then. It wasn't until, obviously later on, people at that point were just over it. I know this is going to be a little sidetrack, but what's your thoughts on her possibly rumored to go to AEW?
Well, pretty much how my thoughts are for anybody that goes there from WWE. It's just you're going to be used on a couple shows, and then you'll be on Dark. She'll be wrestling in Ring of Honor with Athena soon after that. I mean, I guess at this point, or she debuts and maybe she knocks off Jade Cargill. I personally, I would love to see Taya Valkyrie do it. I think she deserves to do it, but since she just debuted there, which was very, very cool to see her there now. But if she debuted in the right way, she could be a monster. It would be awesome. It would be great if it was booked right, But unfortunately, they haven't shown any proper booking for these ex WWE people. So it's very few and far between. You've seen the main book properly, and their own guys too, So, yeah. If it booked right, she could be a monster. Gosh, I could see it, right? She come in and she just like body slams Jade Cargill, makes her look because Cargill's taller, but Nia Jackson's just got the she's stacked and like just grab her and then like power slam her down.
Cause she got like wings,
Yeah. Then she could do like a Vader bomb-esque move or something. You know what I'm saying? Like I could see that
Right.
doing something like that or whatever. That would be cool. Like that would be a cool like way to introduce yourself. You know, and you don't see it that often anymore. You don't see him come after the big dog, the big champion, and then like either leave or you get your chance to win or fight another day. But yeah, but you're right. That was weird booking. A weirdly booked match.
Like I said, it was a decent match, but it was a decent match that was plagued by crappy booking.
Yeah, yeah,
Can I give you one more before
yeah.
I
Absolutely, man. Hey,
So another
it's
match.
our show. We can do whatever we want. No, I'm just saying.
So another one I want to put out there is Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
One thing oh, you know what? Hold on. Before we get to that, D-Town J, did we have Mickey James, Trish, Bad A, Shock Factor?
I believe he's trying to say brought a shock factor to like the match, which absolutely was kind of like what we were talking about, and because of the built-up storyline with that was so good, and you don't see many built-up storylines and it really did because again, it was a stalker-esque like angle where she's in love with her, wants to be her. Like when she showed up and she's dressed up as her with the fake belt, Trisha, that was great. I was losing it. That was such a great so yeah, absolutely. But yeah, if you guys are have your favorite matches, women's matches from WrestleMania, let us know. We'd like to hear from you guys too. But
so the match I want to point out next is WrestleMania 37. And before I bring out this match, just one thing we can promise y'all on here: we give y'all our honest thoughts. And one thing we do not do on here is identity politics. We never have and never will. We don't on this show. We don't deal with that crap. No. So with that being said, I just want to get that out there first. This is Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. WrestleMania 37. Yes, it was cool, to see two black women, headline of Mania night. Yeah, it was. Once again, it was cool. Not gonna take that away from them. And most of and because it was two women that was deserving of it. Now imagine Alicia Fox versus that one chick, the black girl from NXT. I'm sorry, the black girl from Tough Enough when she botched that bulldog. Imagine them two.
Are you with Shaniqua?
Yeah, Shaniqua.
Oh my gosh, Shaniqua. Yes.
But these two, is Sasha Banks. Definitely, I would say, what's the best way to put her? The thing about Sasha, she kind of reminds me of Randy Orton. When she's really to the storyline or a match, like she gives you her 120%. And then other times she just kind of phones it in. This one, oh yeah, she gave us, Sasha Banks, the legit boss, the NXT, the NXT Iron Woman type Sasha Banks through this whole match. And of course, Bianca, as I call her, Miss Cesaro. And the match between these two women. And then of course, the hair whip spot where Lily left markings on Sasha's side.
Oh.
But this match, it was weird. Like this match kind of it was kind of like watching a Steamboat, like almost like a Ricky Steamboat versus like R. Anderson type match. The way it was, because you got one that's all about power, one that's all about technique and finesse. And with these two styles put together, these women definitely, made it work.
Yeah,
and they definitely showed out. And then
they
of course,
did, yeah.
And then of course Bianca, because at that point, this was because she always chased the NXT. We already knew Bianca was destined for greatness because even the NXT when she was like heel Bianca, she was always destined to become champion. Unfortunately, she never got in NXT because oh my god, I'm forgetting names right now. But anyway,
we had Asuka there. She was champion for the long. Bayley.
And Shayna Baszler.
Yeah,
she had Asuka and Baszler to do when she was rivaling down there. But coming up to the main roster, she won the Rumble. And then, like I said, we got these two. They put on a hell of a match. They did the damn thing. Yeah. So shout out to them too.
Oh, absolutely. And we do have another chat here. Looks like it's from Avery. Yeah. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Thank you. Yeah. What up, boys? What up to you, my friend? My
Hey,
friend.
Avery, give us a women's mania match. Give us one of your favorite women's mania matches we get to say.
Yeah, just and then we'll talk about it. So, but yeah, you're right, man, about that match. It was really good. Um, and they really put everything they put on the table on that. And Bianca is still champion from that match. You know, she is still going into this. Yeah, she never lost it. She's still
No.
champion from.
Wait, are you
Or,
sure? Because I thought it was from. No, remember she lost it to what's her name? She got squashed the SummerSlam by.
oh yes, I forgot. You were absolutely
But
right.
the next
I keep
Mania,
forgetting. I keep forgetting that
yeah,
that happened. Yes, you're right. I'm sorry. It was that next
it's
Mania.
all listen. It's all good. Listen, so we're getting old here, guys. So we forget. But
That
no,
was
it
a
was
weird squash at SummerSlam. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's all coming back to me
But
now.
that's a rant we went through one too many times.
Gosh,
So
we were just like, what was that about? That
yeah,
was so
but
weird.
now, but yeah, but in the next following year, she beat Becky, got the revenge match, and yeah, she's pretty much been champ since. But yeah, with them two, they definitely at that point because Bianca could have went against Sasha, she could have went against Asuka. We'll tell you which what she doing in about a week or so,
Yep.
or she could have went against Bailey, or she could have went against Charlotte. Any one of those still would have the same effect. They still would have put on a damn near put on a 5-star match. No, according to Dave Meltzer, he probably would have gave it 4 point, one
Oh
whatever.
Lord,
But
Uncle Dave. You know
yeah,
what's Uncle Dave got? You know he's throwing stars out here, people.
right. Quick question. I know sometimes we know for getting on topic.
No, it's
What
all
do
good.
you know the rating? Do you know the rating he gave her and what's the name when she won the belt from Kari from Kari Sane at New Japan? Do you remember if he gave a rating?
You're talking about oh, gotcha. Oh, when you now it makes sense. Yeah, I could look that up real quick, and then we'll see what we got here. So, but yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it was that high. I remember looking at the other ones on that, but and we got all right, so maybe on here, hmm, maybe not. Hmm. Well, it's not popping up for me right here, so I I will look that up though, and we'll get that information out here. But hmm, we'll get that out here. But
I'll say I got you, Doc. I go. Let's say yeah,
yeah,
but as far as that match goes, yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say. As far as as far as my pick.
I got you. All right, so and that's a good pick too. Um, so I'm gonna pop another match on here that's it's memorable but it's not that it's one of the best parts of the match are really good, but in general it kind of it was a milestone too, as if you had one milestone right there with you know first two black the women in the main event of WrestleMania, but then you have Flair versus Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey. You know, first time it was actually main eventing the WrestleMania as a single night event. Um, like taking Ronda out of that whole equation, this match is still a really good match. You know, Ronda, I've tried numerous times to like have benefit of the doubt, and there are glimmers of the fact that does want to learn, and there's parts you could see, but the problem is it's like she's in a different gear driving, and she's out of gear. Like she sometimes you see her, she works too fast, and she doesn't want to slow down because it's not MMA fighting, you know. But there are some, and the reason why I'm saying that is this match being triple threat too, which is always the best way to do that if you want to have a belt taken off somebody. But it was for for both belts. The idea, Becky 2 belts and all that kind of stuff. And even though the ending was botched, the whole thing with it again, that doesn't matter. The match still was memorable because you had some good spots there with Charlotte. You had even with Becky Lynch, it was so white hot. Crowd was so over for her, and seeing that just main event the pay-per-view was pretty cool. So even though it's not nearly at all like one of the best out of all these matches, it was still to me pretty memorable seeing that. And again, the publicity was so hot too for it, because Ronda Rousey, even though maybe not that great wrestler, she gets publicity for the company, and that was because it was everywhere. It was everywhere for it, and so yeah, that's just a quick take for me on that. And actually, now that we're talking about take, I've got a hot take here. I do.
Okay.
No, I got a hot take, and people don't like it or whatever, but that's why it's a hot take.
Okay.
I think Lita was always overrated. Always overrated. I've never. Yeah.
Ooh, it's spicy.
So I know, spicy. Wait, hold on. Wait. I burned. Burned. So here's my thing. As a valet and all that kind of stuff, and then doing other physical things, yeah, she was perfectly fine. She proved that, especially when she was with Edge, But as a wrestler, I always thought she was just sloppy, Like if everyone loved her doing her moonsault. It was one of the sloppiest moonsaults I've ever seen someone do. Like she could have some chemistry with Trish Stratus because when Trish was finally got up to that level to learn to wrestle, they had good chemistry because they were really the only ones wrestling each other, But I'll tell you right now, where you see Lita and how she can't work with everyone else and people that really wrestle is go and watch WrestleMania. What was it? 18, I think. Triple threat match. I believe it was Lita. I believe it was Jazz and Trish Stratus. I believe it was 8. Yes, it was 18 because it was in Toronto, and Trish Stratus had the white little outfit on. That match really shows that Lita was out of her league when it came to wrestling with like Jazz and Trish Stratus. Maybe not Stratus by herself, but she was out discombobulated. She couldn't work train wrestling. She couldn't, and I don't know. I get why people liked her, especially when they put her with the Hardy Boys. It really worked because the Team Extreme thing was really hot. It worked for her character. That was the best thing that happened for her character. No more S.A. Rios and stuff like that and whatever. But
shout out to you, Rios.
Yep. There you go. But looks like we do have another chat here from Papa Mafia. Oh, there we go. Yeah. But that is my hot take. I know, spicy. I like spice, though. That's what I'm saying, right?
Well, it's actually, granted, this is very spicy take. It's, a lot of times we love our nostalgia. We hold on to old memories. But you can also look at it now, like you see Lita and you see Trish. You see Lita wrestle in 2022, 2023. You definitely see her, how exposed she is. Like she can't Lita give you about maybe 3 to 6 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Trish, on the other hand, I think, in 2023, Trish can at least still give you 8 minutes. At least.
Yeah, and you can tell because Trish is kept in shape. She's because she was like a fitness model, and then she continued doing that as a business. When she's done wrestling, she's continued doing it. So she's always kind of kept in that kind of fit shape. Yeah. Maybe not for like the wrestling shape, but she's still in a sense fit enough to be able to do that. But yeah, seeing Lita wrestle at the she wrestled last year at the show in Saudi Arabia. She wrestled. I can't remember who she wrestled, but she was there, and it was, again, really cool nostalgia and whatnot. And then now she's going to be at WrestleMania this year with Trish Stratus.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm more excited about Trish Stratus being there, And heel turn, like I'm calling it, heel turn. Bam, knock her out.
Let's go.
Let's go, like, right? So we'll see what happens. I don't know. But yeah, that's just my little hot take on that. And
I feel like you've been holding that in all night too.
A little bit. A little bit. I was always going to talk about it, but it's just one of those. It's one of those things. You look at wrestling from back then, and then, I don't even count like before that really. Like when you had, like Sable and Tori, and not Tori Wilson, but like Tori, and like, I don't even count that. The Cat, and Terry Runnels. Yeah, don't count that. I mean, no, because the Cat versus Terry Runnels at WrestleMania 2000. Now that was a good match, right? No. The only thing funny about that match was that you had the referee was Val Venus, and he wore a shirt that said "cocked, locked, and ready to go" or something on the back, and it was ridiculous. So, yeah, I was like, nah. But it looks like we do have a chat here from CBM for Leilani Kai. Yep. And, there was a couple matches from the older WrestleManias that I had seen, and it was kind of, now she would kick your ass right there. Now, that's someone right there that, if Nia Jax got the push like that, whew, now that's something that would have worked. But no, they had her crying, And then CBM, of course, that's what Vince did try in the mid-'90s, bringing in Bull Nakano. Yeah, and so it's kind of funny how you have like the dip, like it's like, oh hey, we're going up here, and then we said, nope, screw it all, boop, we're done. So, the Alundra Blaze thing, obviously, when she left to go to WCW and the infamous, throwing away the women's belt, they're like, well, okay, whatever. But yeah, they did try. They definitely tried, and they tried with the light heavyweight division. They really were trying at that point. But I think it was just like that pre-Attitude Era when it was getting real hot and popular, and then it really just blew up. That they just said the women's division was kind of put to the side, and by the side I mean like the back room that no one ever goes into. Like don't go in there. Don't touch that.
Should we show the viewers who don't know as far as Bull Nakano?
Yeah, if you get that.
CBM always bringing us some golden nuggets. So,
yep, absolutely.
So this is basically who CBM was talking about.
Oh yeah, gosh, never forget that, especially with that old women's title. It was such a nice title too. It was perfectly sized. It had like it was a good belt. I'm a belt guy. I've said this before, but it was a nice looking belt. So, but yeah, the women's division just honestly, at that point, then it tanked after that with Medusa, and then they want to reactivate the belt. So it's like, well, we'll give it to Sable, and Sable's like, whatever. It wasn't until like Jacqueline won it, and then they were like, okay, now you're the new kind of women's champion. Now we're going to start this division over again. And with Leilani Kai. Yep. So yeah, I mean, you got they did try, and they did have a good division. It just always went up and down, and finally, over now, we finally have been up and we're stayed up. Like right now, I feel like we're never going to drop that bad again.
Nah.
Now
they can't.
They can't. No, they got too much talent. They got too much talent for that.
Too much talent, toys, merchandise, and by being a publicly traded company, no, they can't.
Right. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I mean that's just how it is. But I'm trying to think. So I do have another match on here that's actually a good match. So just excuse me. Oh, excuse me on that. So obviously, I was talking about some of the other matches here, but the triple threat match that happened at 19 with Trish Stratus, Jazz, and Victoria. Now that's another really good match there. Victoria full into her crazy gimmick, Jazz. Yeah, and it's always funny too. You watch it on the network, and they have it's different music because they didn't want to pay the rights for the music. So it's pretty funny, but. Yeah, at this time, Jazz, anything she was doing, as long as they had some chemistry with them, could make you look good.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny because watching wrestling with my brother, we saw Jazz in ECW before, and we knew like she's gonna kick some ass right down there. Like, and she could have been down there kicking ass. They had a women's division, like wrestling division, but when they signed her, I was like, good, they're actually pushing her, and I was happy that they did that. That they actually pushed her, and then she got with Theodore Long and all that stuff, and then she got with my boy Rodney Mack. What's up? Yes, we have a Rodney Mack attack here. It's gonna be brought up every show. But no, that match is still another match I really liked, because that pay-per-view is just pretty much. It's sometimes we say like what's the best WrestleMania? That's such a loaded question. So 19.
I can already tell you my favorite Mania.
Oh, really? All right. Well, hit me with it, man.
WrestleMania 17. I said what I said.
17, absolutely. Yeah, 17 is great. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you on that. It's a really good show. So, yeah. So, 19 to me is really good. Obviously, the ridiculousness about Booker T and Triple H aside, that they got it wrong. That's all. I'm not going to really go more into that. They got it. The booking was wrong on that. The match was good. The match was actually pretty good, but the booking was just wrong. For Booker should have won. That's everyone knows, and that's just we can't talk more about it. But the show itself, overall, was a pretty good show. It's a pretty good show on 19's behalf. But yeah, that women's match though, yeah, that was one of my favorites as well. But I think actually, I just have to say this is a real quick one because I have more of these like cringe and bad matches. But why is it that you had some really good wrestlers, Beth Phoenix, Melina, and then they get stuck in horseshit matches? Like Melina had to fight Ashley Massaro at WrestleMania 23. And it was such a dog shit match, man. It was so bad. It was so bad. And it was like Melina deserved so much better than that. And she was champion. It was like a championship match. It was like, but it was, again, the whole Playboy thing. Ashley had just done Playboy, so they were like utilizing that as a storyline, like they would always do. And then Beth Phoenix got thrown into tag matches in these terrible matches on WrestleMania. And it's like she deserves better than this. It was so odd to me. But I guess it's better than nothing. You still get the payday being there, but still, it was such a non-memorable matches. So that was just my take on that. Just when you see someone, even like we talked about with Trish, she had some like that wasn't necessarily. So she's had some bad times in her matches, but overall, for all of them, she was pretty good. But for now I can go back to something good. So Sauce, hit me with another one that you that you liked that resonated more with you.
Let's see. Because I got three. Actually, I'll be honest with you, I got two left because the other one I really don't. The other one's all right.
That's okay.
I got two left. Which one you want? Give me a number. 34 or 32. Which number you feel?
32. 32.
32, which was probably one of the most important WrestleManias for women. That was Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch.
Yep.
That's when they got rid of the stupid Divas title.
Yeah.
And they started acknowledging the women's championship again. Instead of calling them divas, we go back to call them superstars.
Yep. Yes.
And, shout out to Papa H, because we hear that all of this was really his idea, him pushing this, but he wanted to give Stephanie credit because it just made more sense.
Yeah, to have her do the announcement. That was I like that too. I thought that was a nice touch.
He basically let Stephanie take all the credit because she's Miss WWE, so it just made more sense versus him going out there doing it. Once again, shout out to him. Apparently he was the main force behind it, but he wanted her to get the credit for it. So
yeah,
but yeah, I'm going Flair, Banks, Lynch. And
Such a good match. And I remember two things from this match. I remember Sasha Banks, because her idolized Eddie Guerrero, and she wore the Eddie Guerrero like pants and whatnot, the long pants, and they were like had the flames on. So I loved that. I was like, oh, it's such a good look. Um, and then having the new belt, which I do have a fun story about that. So in the months upcoming, before WrestleMania, like the months, me and my brother would talk about this disgusting Divas belt. Like we just said, how much we hate it. It's pretty much the worst looking belt, pretty much of all time. There's other whatever.
WWE standpoint,
yeah. So when they were being serious with the championship with Charlotte, I was like, okay, maybe they should do a belt. And I know you can say like, oh, you didn't think about this then. I can guarantee you we thought about this months before. My brother said, why don't we just make it like the regular belt, but make it a little smaller? And then I'm like, yeah, maybe put like a white strap because, bring the white, they already had the white back. And then they showed that belt and we were both like, oh God, that's exactly what we wanted. It's exactly what you wanted. You want to be on the same level as the men's, but make the belt just smaller because you guys are smaller, like that's all. So I was very happy to see that. I was so happy. And of course I had to make that version of the belt right there. I'm like, there's my hand right there. So, and of course my wife is champion. She never will relinquish that belt because she's my champion. But no, that's a good pick, man. That's a great pick. God, it's such a good match.
And then the match itself, because it was at that point where it was really just Charlotte Flair versus Banks. That's what it really was about. And Lynch just happened to be there.
Mm-hmm.
She was just there, but going in, she was seen as the person that was just there. But coming out, the world definitely got to see. They definitely got a taste of Becky Lynch, for years to come. Because at that time, we go from her jumping out dancing like a leprechaun to being a part of. Listen, as to Eric, that would have been money. Granted, nowadays, it can be a little problematic. But that's a rant for another day. But as far as that match itself, coming out, you definitely, Becky Lynch definitely, had her name heard by the end of that match.
Oh my gosh, for sure. And then it just took another year or so and then blew up. She blew up at that point. And but what's funny about that match too is I know they were making Charlotte into this champion, this monster champion. But I always thought it was funny. Like, Charlotte would never lose at pay-per-views, right? But she would lose the belt at Raw. She would always lose it on Raw. Like that was my only concern is when they that belt just would jump around so much. Like when Banks won it on Raw or whatever, it's like, okay, I'm glad you won it, but Charlotte would never lose at a pay-per-view. Like she literally had that long pay-per-view streak. She deserved the win though, because you just got the new belt, right? You need so I'm not mad that she won it. They threw everything on the line. Charlotte with these off the top rope moves for being how big, big she is, man. Yeah. Every time I'm like, oh God, don't die. And she corkscrew, spin off the top rope, and I'm like, oh God. And so but that very good pick on that, man. I wrote that one down, but I was looking at a couple other ones and I forgot to go back to that one. So
it's like if you want a young kid, like I'll say it this way. As far as when I was talking about wrestling matches or whatever, for just somebody in general who just, don't really care about wrestling, whatever, yada, 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 for last week, I would say, if you, as far as, because I understand that, with women's wrestling WWE, they definitely, WWE's market in general is catered, is catered to kids. So I always say, certain matches, if you really want a little girl, when she sees wrestling, if you really want her to be intrigued by it, to get her, get her interest, that's definitely a good match for them to check out.
Yeah, I hear you on that. It was good. Yeah, I mean, there's just it pretty much had everything in a sense, like you said. Like if you could just kind of go on blind on it, it would be you'd have a good storyline for it. And again, I was talking about the storyline too, because you have yeah, my concern right now is that they haven't done enough for this upcoming match with Rhea Ripley and Charlotte. And I know they already have the built-in storyline for when she beat her at WrestleMania before, but it's different. It's a different Rhea Ripley now, So I know you're going to talk about your evolution at that point, but I feel like they still haven't done enough to build that match up. But I still think they're going to have a great match. They're going to kind of tear the roof off of it. So
hopefully we get some type of confrontation, something at SmackDown. I would just say at least SmackDown and Raw, just starting SmackDown, just give them 3 straight weeks of them just confrontations.
Yeah, they did it last week. They did do the stuff last week, so that was good.
Just keep it going. Keep it going.
Yep. So I'm about it. I'm all about that. But keeping on with the Flair train, I do have to say we have Charlotte Flair and Asuka at WrestleMania 34.
Damn it, that was my last one.
Well, then we can both talk about it. It's all good. I had a feeling we're gonna have some overlap here.
Oh yeah, we definitely
So, yeah, this match.
Well, go ahead, Doc.
This match was so good. It was a good match. I'm a huge Asuka fan. I think her transition from NXT worked really well at that time, and then her winning the Royal Rumble. So we're really hot on her. We're really hot on her to win. And the match was really good, real hard hitting. They threw everything they had at each other, but then Asuka didn't win. So I was kind of like, again, Charlotte, don't lose at pay-per-view. It became such a thing, she wouldn't lose at the pay-per-view. So I was a little upset about that, because remember that was the year we had Nakamura winning and Asuka winning the Royal Rumbles, and they both lose at WrestleMania. They both, So I was like, what the heck, But the match itself was good. The match was still really good. And I'm hoping this year that now you have a new rejuvenated Asuka that's super hot now. Is that match right there is, I couldn't tell you who's going to win. You probably are going to say, again, Bianca is going to win, but I say Asuka is going to dethrone her this year at WrestleMania. So but it could be either way. I don't know, man. But I'm hoping to see. I just want to have a title reign like she had at NXT. She was undefeated and only had to relinquish the belt when she was injured, in NXT. So she was a monster. And that's what I think, if she is booked properly now, she can be that monster, I guess you call her heel in a sense, but wrestler on the main roster as the Raw champion. So, but that match with Flair, though, it really showed a lot of people what she could do. The problem was she just kind of got bumped down the ranks after that, and it was just kind of like, Vince. He's like, God damn, I don't know what we can do with her. She can't speak English that well, and that's her. She really, she really can't. But she tries. She tries, and she tries as much as she can. She's learned and I look, I can pay attention. If people that say they can't understand what she's saying clearly don't listen, because you can understand what she's saying. I don't know what people are saying.
She had to wait about 2 or 3 more years before she started getting decent title runs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
At least one of the 2 New Japan people got some type of legit title runs, because unfortunately Nakamura, he definitely didn't get that.
No, and that was disappointing. That was a disappointing thing there, but I mean, that's sort of the whole conversation for him of the day.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, I didn't mean to steal your last one there, man. So I know it. I'll throw on one that I know you forgot to put on your list. I know. I wrote it on my list for you. Is those the Playboy gown matches that they had at WrestleManias. I know that you forgot to write them down, so I wrote them down for you.
I forgot to watch this when they came on. I went to go use the bathroom.
Although they were definitely glorified pee breaks for sure.
Yeah.
and there was like three. Well, there was like okay, there was like two Playboy gown matches, pillow fight, whatever, and then like the Miller like cat fight girls when they were hot for like a second. They had them on. Remember that they had them at WrestleMania.
Wasn't it on 24? WrestleMania 24 with Snoop.
No,
Was that the match?
they were on an earlier
no,
one.
That was
No,
19. I don't think that was 19.
19. Yes, it was 19 because they were advertised everywhere for it, and then Stacy Keibler and Tori Wilson, doing their little whatever thing, and then you had a Playboy gown match or a Tori Wilson and Sable, and it was like, oh my god, this is getting so annoying. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then of course I just watched. It just happened to get. Oh god, what the heck was the other one? I don't even remember. Oh, Candice Michelle and Tori Wilson, and it was like, God damn it, I hate these matches so much. It's so bad.
The reason why we hated the matches, it wasn't like, and it wasn't because back in the day guys was just being blatantly sexist. It was just they sucked.
They did. Look. There's some good-looking women there, but we just want to like doing your job or doing like a valet job or something and looking hot. We don't need to see you like rolling around. Or the worst was, and the one I just saw now, because yes, I was actually trying to pay attention to see why this was whatever. They had it was a Playboy pillow fight. Candice Michelle comes out. She had just done Playboy. Then Tori Wilson came out. And they didn't say it was an evening gown match, but they were an evening gown. So I thought it was odd. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It's in the ring. The bed's in the ring this time. And like Tori Wilson keeps her gown on. Candice Michelle's like, I'm going to take this off. Okay. So is that the match? Like, I don't even know. It's just like, what's the rules? There's no rules. But during the match, they would try to like Irish whip into the ropes and try to do a move or something here and there. And I'm like, guys. And at one point, I think it was I don't know if it was Jerry Lawler or whatever, said, I thought this was a pillow fight. They haven't hit each other with a pillow once. And I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, I guess not. But it's like, why do I care? I don't care anymore. No one. But you're right. It's like when the match sucks so much that, like, come on, utilize them in a different form. Have them come out with, and that's what they would do. They would have them come out with the wrestlers of valet, still looking all good or whatever. And the backstage segments, though, watching these WrestleManias are the funniest things ever. This one that we just had, I was watching, it had people dancing. It had Eugene, yes, that Eugene. He had just had his head shaved. And Crime Time comes in with Layla, Kelly, and Eve Torres. And they're all dancing. They're like, hey, here, dance with us. Here, dance with Eugene. And they're all dancing. And then Eugene's like, no, I want to dance with them. And it was, again, Mae Young and Fabulous Moolah, because, again, they were just like every WrestleMania at one point. They're dancing. And then literally Dusty Rhodes comes out and starts dancing with them. And then IRS comes out. Gold Dust comes out. Ricky Dragon Steamboat come out. It was, and the Slick Rick was there dancing. And then, of course, at the end, and this happened, this was the best part, Ron Simmons comes out and just looks around.
He just looks around, just goes, damn!
Get my paycheck. And then they just continue dancing, And I kind of forgot how much I love those backstage weird segments, with the wrestlers that weren't going to be on the card. So they need to bring that back more, honestly, because it was a fun little kind of like, there's kind of fun. So,
yeah.
But, yeah, we don't need any kind of like weird Playboy mud wrestling matches or anything. We don't need that anymore. No, we don't need those anymore. Just give us a good match. Give us a stipulation type match or whatever, but we're good there. But, yeah, talking about, I'm not gonna lie, even though there's not nearly as many women's matches at WrestleMania throughout the years, there's still some really good matches. And again, over the past 5 years, and then during the Ruthless Aggression era, there were some good ones there too. But it just tells you how the women's wrestling has gotten better, and now we're at that level where it's going to stay there because of the talent. We already seen the
Right.
talent in NXT. There's a lot of real talented women there, and still got a lot of people here young that's going to be here for a while, you know. And so it's a bright shining star. Thinking about moving forward, you know. No more Bellas, you know. Now you have like that took over the whole thing. I will say, I would love to see. It'll never happen, but I would love to see AJ Lee. I still would love to see AJ Lee again. She retired too early for her, my opinion. But again, I don't think Mr. Brooks is going to allow that to happen. But yeah. So there's a little bit there. Now I'll tell you though, it's a little bit there, but kind of the calm before the storm. Because next week we got a big one. Because next week will be our preview for WrestleMania. And
WrestleMania.
oh yeah, there we go. WrestleMania. We're gonna do the preview for that, and we're gonna do a very quick preview of Ring of Honor's first show of the year. The Ring of Honor Supercard. Sorry, I'm like in my head, I'm like another Supercard of Honor. Their first show, which is actually on March 31st, so the day before WrestleMania. So we're just going to do like a quick thing for that, and then we'll talk about the.
Hey, I got that day off.
You know where you're going to be at then.
So I originally
it's at 7:30 though. It's at 7:30.
No, but because I originally scheduled that day, I took that day off to go to Chicago, which is not happening now because of WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, shout out to me.
There you go. But so yeah, we're gonna talk about like, you know, the different matches, stuff like that. We're pretty much set. There's probably a couple more matches that are gonna get announced, like the Dominic and Rey Mysterio match will be, I think, officially announced this Friday, because, you know, Rey Mysterio like, I'm not fighting you. This Friday, apparently, the whole Mysterio family is showing up to SmackDown.
Oh, yeah.
So you already know stuff's happening, and then so that's happening. That match is actually going to happen, but yeah. So, but like I said, we'll go over that next week in more detail. But as for, you know, this week, we do still have to go over our heat of the week, and so yeah, Sauce, what do you think for heat of the week for yeah?
MJF, because he is a song of our rating. And better, listen, he's better than all of y'all, not me. Definitely not me. And they know it. But yeah, just you know, the fact that he's champion, just his antics now, like people are coming in to basically they tune in to see him. It seems like, you know, and then now that he's the champ, you know, we definitely see him every week, you know.
Yeah.
And I also like the fact that, you know, they're kind of setting up the future of AEW with him, Jungle Boy, Darby, and
Ricky Starks.
And Ricky Starks. You know, these guys, you know, he's setting up the future pillars of the company. So, especially a little segment that he did, the celebration segment.
Oh, that was great. That segment was phenomenal. It was just so ridiculous, you know. When they picked him up on the chair to do that, and they almost dropped him, I was like, oh God, of course. But he would have sold it too. He would have just, even if he fell, he would have got up and sold it, and, you know, or whatever. But
he did something like start limping and like he was hurt.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm excited to see moving forward with what they're going to be doing storyline wise with him and the rest of those guys. So that's a good pick right there. Yeah. For me, I have to say it's more of because it's a preview type pick, but it's, I guess maybe not him directly, but I'm going to say it's kind of like the three wrestlers of Gunther and McIntyre and Sheamus. Okay. Because as I basically thought was going to happen, and a lot of people did too, is now going to be a triple threat match.
Which I'm not mad at.
Oh, I'm not mad at all, because again, now if you really wanted to, you could have Sheamus win that belt, but he pins McIntyre and not Gunther, so Gunther doesn't look bad in a loss. But you're still going to have a banger. You're still on there. McIntyre has been busting his butt for months, you know, and Sheamus has been, you know, kind of reinvigorated his career. He's been like, it's crazy to think how long Sheamus has been in the company, right? It's crazy that, like, he's been there for a long time, and now his career's kind of reinvigorated. And now with like Gunther, just everything's so high for him. So just that kind of trio of them, I'm excited to see that at WrestleMania. That's going to be like one night's going to have that match, and then the other night's going to have the Seth Rollins and Logan Paul match. That'll probably now it's going to be interesting until they officially announce some of those matches where they're going to be. We know one women's match is going to be on each show. It's not going to have both on both shows or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But let's take a look here. We got D-Town Guy. We said Gunther will win. Hey, and he might win. But Sheamus, you know, they really pushed for him to win at Clash of the Castle, so he might win as well. That match, honestly, it could go either way. But I like Gunther, so I would be happy if Gunther would win, of course. But we got D-Town Guy's prediction. We do also have another one here from CBM. Oh, God. I hate you. I thought the League of Nations reinvigorated Sheamus' career. But you know what? Rusev's career was better in League of Nations than it is in AEW. There you go. Okay? So that's
it's now been 10 months since he last wrestled. I don't know if he's hurt. But if
he's not hurt, no, he's not hurt. Nope, because there was a mess thing on Twitter or something saying he's not injured at all. No. So great. Now I have to go throw up because someone brought up League of Nations. Yeah, League of Nations, seriously, one of the on paper best factions in action, worst faction. Like it was so terrible. Kevin Owens was like, "I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that faction." Thank God. But yeah, so like I said, we have, you know, kind of a lot to talk about today for the women's wrestling and all that stuff. But next week we got a lot to talk about for WrestleMania and give us all our thoughts. Hopefully, we're going to kind of push it. We want to hear all your guys' thoughts, your predictions. Sauce is going to have a nice spreadsheet here. We're going to give all our predictions and everything. And because the biggest thing about this is to get the championship back. That's it. Either I'm getting that belt back or Sauce Bronson's going to get that championship, but we're getting that back. 2-night event. Bank on it. But unless you got anything else, Sauce, didn't know if you had anything else though.
I'm good.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. But all right, with that being said, as always, Dr. Love. And again, I can't do this without him, but Sauce Bronson, we got to give him a round of applause. So,
and once again, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a good night, and most importantly, be good.